Welcome to the Sounds of Chicago podcast, brought to you by the Chicago Music Guide. Hello, my name is Mark, and this is a podcast dedicated to the vibrant local Chicago music scene. Chicago has a very storied history when it comes to music, and we'll talk to artists and capture the feeling and sounds of the thriving local music scene. Today, I'll be talking to a pair of artists that describe their sound as something unknown, something nostalgic, and something familiar, all at the same time. The post-art pop duo that performs together as Friend of a Friend, Claire Molek and Jason Savsani. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Hey. Thanks for having us.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So I've got to, as usual with these interviewing artists and that, I got to ask you the opening question. How did you get started playing music? Where did your joy and love of music come from?
Yeah, we both been playing music and I think pretty obsessed since we were very young.
Okay.
So we're little boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boy and girl.
So was there music at home?
Yeah. So, I grew up in a West Coast, is this you? I grew up in a West Coast Indian home. So it was kind of, that was always playing in the household. So
Okay.
It's like classical harmoniums and tablas and just really, so that shaped a lot of my influence. But also the first piece of music I ever owned was Pablo Honey by Radiohead on tape.
Nice.
So it was a nice clash, but kind of parallel world as well. So that's kind of my background.
And when did you start playing guitar?
So I think I started when I was 10 or 12.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I started super young. But at that point, it was kind of like, just learning covers and just kind of living the guitar lifestyle, but not actually like practicing. So it was like playing shows in people's basements or in barns and stuff in the suburb that I'm from. And it was just like, we had no idea what we were doing, but we were stoked, beforehand. So then,
What were some of the covers that you were playing? You mentioned Radiohead.
We were doing like the Pixies, Radiohead covers, Deftones, so things like that.
Okay. Yeah. And was it always with the classical guitar, or were you playing electric too?
No, it was back then. It was mostly exclusively electric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now it's exclusively this classical flamenco style.
Yeah, it's like I think that's kind of how the band got started, because we kind of happened to started during the pandemic, so it's kind of like we were meeting up at the beach to play and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was kind of, I'm not going to bring my 10 delay pedals and like huge rig or whatever. It's like
right.
So that's kind of like the classical guitar got into that.
Okay. And Claire, how about you? How did you start?
Yeah. When I was really, I think like 6 or 7, some girls that lived down the block, they had a recording studio in their basement. Their dad was like in film, and they really loved the Beatles, and they introduced me to the Beatles, and I just got super obsessed with music, I think, at that time. And we would, there's like tapes of us somewhere, with me and these 2 other girls, Caitlin and Sarah, and they sang in a choir. And so I said to my mom and dad, hey, can we go to this church? Because I want to sing in this choir. And I just started, I think, it's so young. I just went to choir, all the time. And we went to choir camp, and I did it in school, and I did it after school, and I did it during the summer. And but, it's really interesting. I never thought that I would be able to be a musician. It was just something I really loved to do. And it's funny because looking back on all that time, it's like, man, I was studying music like 3 hours a day.
Wow. From
such a young age, in different scenarios, jazz choir, like traditional, like musical theater, like all sorts of stuff. And I never thought that would be my life until I met Jason, really.
Okay.
And,
so what was your first band experience then? Was it with Jason?
With Jason.
Really? Wow. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've been listening a lot lately to a lot of those are good North African artists, like I was like Hindi Zara. I don't know if you know her. She's from Morocco, and I think you have a lot of that you can't put a finger on your vocal style. Which is what I really like.
Thank you.
You know, it's like, okay, it sounds like it's European, but it's got some American licks to it, and it's got some jazz, but then also there's this, again, you know, North African, Middle Eastern vibe to it. So that's really excellent.
Well, thank you. I've always been interested in a lot of different music, and I think I've definitely been influenced by a lot of different kinds of vocalists.
Well, that's evident in how you sing. So, because I mean, listening and hearing like the meter that you place a lot of notes too, it's like, wow, you make a lot of choices that I would never make because I'm just, you know, by the numbers, you know, 4/4, 3/4, maybe, you know.
Sure. Well, you know, I just personally was only really able to write a song just a couple months before I met Jason, and I could barely play the guitar. I mean, I really can't. Jason is a real virtuoso. It's like, you know, I think a lot of, you know, what we've been able to do together, I really have, it was for me like really unlocked through, you know, my relationship with Jason and, you know, feeling safe and, you know, to explore and to make mistakes and, you know, all that sort of thing.
All that good stuff.
And I think that's where, you know, a lot of the meter and a lot of the songs, you know, I think along the way, not really having a musical industry background in any way, you know, I came to learn, okay, I see people write songs, like they go to, you know, schools to like write songs, you know, like there's these formulas and stuff. But I think because neither of us were really trained that way, we're really kind of just vibing off of each other.
Just, like make it a lot of, you know, even when we're making songs, it's a lot of like improvisation and just like letting it flow out. And so a lot of times, like a lot of our songs are like, it's like that end up on an album is like, we basically like played it, like there was no song, and then we like play it, and then we play it like two more times. We're like,
and there's a song, right?
There's a song. Okay, cool. Let's, you know, and I think, you know, maybe with, you know, having the jazz side and very much like the Indian side of it is very much like improvisation and really just like allow it to come to you vibe. So I think that's maybe what's coming out. We never really thought of it this way. So thank you for picking up on that. We actually don't know so confidently. You know, we don't know.
Excellent. So okay, so now you said it started during the pandemic, and how did you guys meet? How did the band start? How did you decide to start a band?
Hence the band name, Friend of a Friend. We had a friend who put us in touch. But the funny part is that, let's say 8 years prior to that, I knew Claire. We would meet up with that friend of a friend at, you know, Claire's in the art world. So I'd see her around town. You know, we'd chat. We'd say hi, hello. You know, like it was amiable, you know, it was like
acquaintance level.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's Claire, you know, and we happen to be good friends with this person, so it's kind of like, I was like, oh, Claire's cool enough to be friends with my friend or whatever, but it's different worlds. But then that friend was finally like, hey, do you know that Claire sings? And I was like, Claire Molek sings? Are you crazy? What's going on? And she had no idea that I played guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And so literally we met up one time as like, let's just jam. I don't know how we're like, let's get together and jam or something. We jammed. It was magical. Okay. I'd never felt that way before jamming with anyone. So because I'd played in bands before, but it's like when the lightning strikes, it was known instantly. And from that day on, we've been playing like basically every day since.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of my questions, and is, you know, bands and duos have a certain chemistry to work. So what you saw that the chemistry was there right from the start. Did you feel the same way, Claire?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievable to me that we could just sit down and, you know, write a song.
Like made a song that day.
Wow.
And I remember we were in my stairwell because excellent reverb. Right. And so and I remember just like, we're at some point we're like jamming and we're both like screaming like as like you know, like yell, like you know, just singing like from like the deepest caverns of our souls, and it was like, this is crazy. I was like, we've really like meeting through music, like we're actually like meeting, and it was so crazy the juxtaposition between like all the times I've seen you, and now we're like, I'm in a stairwell with Claire Molek, and now we're just like belting at the top of our lungs, like guitar and singing. Like I was like, it's on, let's do this. Yeah.
And so it's from the get-go, it was always an original act.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, just to this day, I'll be like, Jason, we gotta do some covers, man. Like we don't have any covers, and people would be like, hey, could you guys like, we'll be at a party, and they'll be like, hey, could you guys like
play Wagon Wheel?
Yeah, do something like fun or whatever, and we're like only doom and gloom.
We only do
bass.
or Seal Kissed by a Rose.
Okay. Well, yeah, because after having listened to your music quite a bit, I can't see. I mean, you can make songs into your style, but your style is very unique.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, I think we both just feel really blessed because I don't think that either of us feels like, oh, like we're sitting down to write something, you know. I think it really feels like it kind of just is almost like given to us, and we're kind of just listening like for it or something, you know.
Yeah,
like
and
it's very organic.
Totally. And I think that both of our backgrounds, it's like very, we have like a similar core of things we like, and then we have like certain worlds that we came from.
Okay.
So it's just like, you know, and you mentioned Morocco. It's like, yeah, and I love like Moroccan music and stuff too. So, you know, it's like, and I remember visiting Morocco, and I was like, they had the Berber people or whatever, I forgot what group, and it's like, they had this gentleman who played like, it's kind of like a guitar. I don't know if you know the name of that thing.
It's like something maybe close to like a bouzouki, maybe.
Yeah, something wild. And it's like, yeah. So I think that all those styles have just been pouring through all of us, and we have a shared for flamenco music, right?
From an early age,
Yeah.
both of us. My mom took me to like a concert or something like that, and I was like, I have to like learn Spanish, and I'm gonna go live in Spain, and I gotta get there, you know. And we both
we're obsessed with like
really
southern Spain and Andalusia, just as like, you know, being from, you know, the burbs or whatever. It's like felt like that was where the fierce intensity, put it all on the line tunes. And when we you know, watch a flamenco show, that's like kind of what we felt, and especially in the beginning was kind of like maybe the core like vibe, like not that we do like a music or whatever, but it was just like that fury and intensity and life and love and tragedy and beauty and loss, like can come up with just like two people, you know, with the guitar and the sound of the feet and stuff. So, you know, as we go through this process, it's like we make our tunes the guts of it is like Claire and I just like playing guitar and stuff, and then we craft universes around it.
Yeah, because that was going to my question is how do you approach writing songs, and do you have, well, there you answered the question. It's the song comes first, and then you build a soundscape around it. Is that true?
Yeah, that's been mostly our practice up until now, but we've definitely been experimenting recently by doing it different ways, and I think that's been fun.
It's like exactly. It's like let a soundscape take us somewhere or whatever, and you know, or
kind
some
of whatever comes first or something. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, like this. There's no handbook for writing how to write a song. It's like it starts somewhere, and then it could start this way, it could start this way, it could start this way, but as long as you get to the end.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the reviews I've read for you guys online, the word folk keeps coming up. Do you have a folk background type of thing also, or?
You know,
Claire does.
Yeah, I think all music is folk, right? Like it all kind of comes from like what even really is folk. I think that's a pretty broad term. I think that our songs, our first album is coming maybe from that, or is maybe recognized in that tradition more so than our second album. So I think that maybe people will use that as a catch-all.
So maybe that's why people were latching on to the Led Zeppelin comparisons, because of a lot of their softer songs have a lot of British folk element to them, or even, you know, Middle Eastern and
That makes sense. And I'd say like even visually there's an instrumentation. It's like you see like a classical flamenco guitar. You might think folk, you like think more so folk, and then it's like, but we love like we mutually love like deep 808 synths, intensity, electronics, and stuff like that, and that cinematic epicness. So it's like you could say that a natural juncture was for us to like merge those worlds, like we just because that's the type of stuff that we like listening to, when we're cruising around town,
and drawing from different elements to make something new. Which
absolutely.
is great. It's kind of like it's like cooking, and coming up with new dishes.
Totally.
So, who's the lyricist?
I am.
Okay, and so what comes first? Are you hearing the music and then saying, "Oh, this gives me this feeling," and this is where it goes, or?
Gosh, yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, I mean, all of this. I was saying to my dad just yesterday, it's like everything in my life that ever happened really led up to this.
Okay.
So I think in some ways, all of this is coming from this connection that we have. So in a way, it's like, well, I'm like putting the pen down, but it's really from all of what we're experiencing together and learning together. And so sometimes, it comes first or second, but it's really all kind of in the same moving snowball or something. You know what I mean? Like it
gathering
seems like
momentum.
Yeah. Or like we'll have this sort of hook in our heads and we'll maybe jam it out. Like you can catch us at the Guitar Center, messing around on the keys and all the different stuff.
Make tunes at the Guitar Center.
Making random jams.
It's the one on Halstead. I'll have to pop in and check in
on
you guys.
We got a show coming up at the Guitar Center.
But, and we'll forget to record that or something. Or we'll record it and then just not put it anywhere organized. And then come back later, we'll be like, oh, man, remember that one time we were doing that thing on the whatever and that hook came back. It's like it all sort of follows us. And if we don't get it into a song, it's almost like
it finds a way.
Yeah, it'll find a way. Like we'll be trying to like do a song that is maybe more finished, and like that hook will try and get into that song, and you know what I mean?
Right, totally.
Right.
There'll be like a melody or
guitar. We've used that one before. I can't use that one again.
Yeah.
So, but the lyrics that I've read through when I was listening to the songs, there's a lot of vulnerability to them. And are you drawing from personal experience, or are you writing third person?
Well, I've been writing poetry since before I was into music, actually, I would say. I think that's probably my first art form and something that has always stuck with me and been a part of my daily practice, really. And, yeah, I think...
I read her poetry book. It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how old you were. Maybe you're in high school or something. I was like, this is sick. It's awesome.
Well, thanks.
Next level.
I don't know about that, but I think yeah, it's all very personal to us, what we're doing here. Okay. It's this stuff saved our lives, and music saves our lives, and we're trying to be as honest as we can be, so that I think that's really the only way that it works.
Yeah, it's like,
to be honest.
Totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, I think we think, oh man, I really think this is what this song's about. And then we'll be like 2 months later,
it's not about that at all.
Yeah. Like, or it'll just wash over, like a whole new understanding will come through or something. And
yeah, that's like our favorite artist. It's like sometimes when they overly explain it, it's kind of like, it's like, don't tell me that. It's like you're just like eating a ham sandwich one random day, and you thought, I was like, no, it's like I already have my it's like I already have my meaning towards it. So
don't reveal the magic.
But I just think it's sort of naive to go about thinking, oh, like I know what my art means or something, like, because then why would you do it? Like in a way, like it's there for you to learn from. Yeah, we're all meant to learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some lines of songs that I wrote back in the 90s or even before that, and there was one line that hit me was, "You're never too far from alone."
Oh, I love that.
And it was
Beautiful.
like, that was in my early 20s when I wrote that. I'm like, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, and it's still resonating with me today.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
it can work on, well, you've got people around you, you know, so you're never too far from alone, or the people around you may disappear, so you're
Sure.
never too far from alone that way as well. So, sorry, I'm revealing the magic of the line.
No,
Sorry.
I love it.
But it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
The
No,
most
it's great.
beautiful things are like a paradox, right?
Yeah, true. Well, it leads me to asking you guys about your first album, Arms. I love the title because there's a lot of meaning to it. Why did you choose to call it Arms?
In Arms, yeah.
Oh, it's called In Arms.
In Arms,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because I was looking online and it said Arms. So,
Oh.
in Arms also
It's
a lot of layers of meaning.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I suppose that's why.
Yeah. I think we were just, the idea of a call to action, and not in like a,
Like a
arms,
call to
like,
arms,
yeah,
yeah.
like just like wake up, let's go, and I think that's kind of where, even from our music, it's like I don't know, we love like end of the movie epic vibes, like it's just like, all sorts of stuff. I don't know, it's like to, I don't know, explore, all the, I don't know.
I think that's just where we were, at that time in our lives. It's sort of like there's like some angstiness in the record itself, and I think we felt like, we were gonna, stop at nothing to make this album, and
You could say that's a good point. You could say that's like because it was like our first album,
Right.
And we had come from paths that weren't necessarily fully expressing ourselves. It's like it was like we're in Arms, like let's go.
Let's do
this.
this.
Is never
Yeah.
we're never looking back, and this is it. And we are not hitting this lightly or some sort of like, oh, we'll like do this on the side. It's like no, we are doing this. We need this. We love it. And luckily it's not looking back.
So,
It's been great.
and did you have all the material prepared in advance, or did you do some work in the studio to prepare the songs?
this was a very organic process.
Quite serendipitous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to tell the story?
Sure. Basically, like we were noobs, so we're like, oh, let's just go like record in Pensacola.
We were going to bring
Right,
all of our
drive down.
stuff. We had all of our stuff
all our
in the
recording
car.
gear. Yeah, totally. And then we drove down and we made a pit stop because I think halfway was like Nashville.
Okay.
Pensacola's on the sea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just for
been
anyone
there.
that's listening
Yeah,
that
it's,
doesn't
the-
know, that's why we were going.
Yeah,
there.
The panhandle of Florida.
There's a
Right.
reason.
And because we
it's
looked at the
cheap,
map, we're like, where's the closest ocean?
Miami's real far.
And we're like, wow, it's actually like not that far. It's like directly south, 55. We're there.
Right.
And so
12 hours.
You don't have
12
to.
hours.
You don't even have to change roads.
Right,
It's
right, right.
55
Straight
straight
shot.
shot. Yeah.
It's 12 albums. 12 albums get us there. But then we got there and then like, you know what? We had some tunes, just Claire and I, and we're like, you know what? Let's just record at a studio. Why not? And then literally found a place that's like records on tape
Okay.
only. Yeah.
Wow,
And it was
okay.
awesome. Yeah.
Very
so-
rare these days.
Yeah. And we were like, oh yeah, we'd love to capture that just like raw organicness. So
magic
In
of
Arms
it,
is on
yeah.
is
Yeah.
on tape. So
Okay. And that's how you made it to Nashville. You found a studio down there.
exactly.
Okay.
Never made it to Pensacola.
Never made it to Pensacola. Have you been there subsequently? Have
We
you been
have,
to?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very nice down in
We
Pensacola.
loved it, yeah.
And so the song "I'm So Happy," what was the inspiration for that one?
Gosh, I think that's one of the first songs we wrote together, like in the first couple months, I think.
Yeah.
Of working
It's like
together,
in the
yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
Backyard tune. And I think that was a tune where I was like, I don't know, man. And then you're like, you and like another friend were like, dude, let's do this. And I was like, all right, cool. I was listening to what the vibes were, and I love that song.
Yeah. Yeah, it sort of became we still play that song live. So I think it really became a song that helped us like evolve our live set in more than anything, and really kind of became a part of our DNA as the band.
Okay.
I think in that case, because so we had put the album, like the root of all of the songs are on tape, Jason and I. it's a live take. We're doing it together.
Right.
And then we added some instrumentation on top. And there's so much. Jason is doing this like crazy thing with the electric guitar and the pedals. It's not recreatable. That's what people don't realize. There's some, that was recorded analog.
It's like doing live tape loops, and once it's done, you can't go back and do it again. It's like "Tomorrow Never Knows" by the Beatles. That's a one-shot deal. It can never be recreated the way it is.
Right. But when you're playing live, it'd be great to have like some idea, before all that stuff comes in of, what the time is. And you never really, unless you've got a click in your ear saying, hey, this is what your time is, to just all of a sudden put on something that's maybe ambient, but also sort of melodic, is kind of challenging. So we really had to work through a lot of live, like, configurations to be able to play the song. And
I think through that process, like it's been fun to then get to the point of like, now when we play the song, we'll usually like improv rock out at the end of it. So it's like our shows include it's because we deconstruct. It's exactly like we've got to record it on tape, organic, but then add in like, electronics and sonics and loops. And then, then we went on the road and we didn't have that stuff. So we're just like playing acoustically again. Then it's like, now we have a drummer, and now it's like, we just go.
Now it's gone into a different path somewhere.
Totally. And now we have fans like singing along the lovely line of "I'm so happy."
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
it's fun to see that now in the evolution, we're seeing, fans in the crowd singing along. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's maybe the coolest. Like that song is like, it's really just such a part of our DNA because we've just always played it. And I think, the places we go back, it's like people remember it. It's one of our first, I think it's the first song we put out. So it's been with our fans for some time. And it's been like, it's really, it's like classic FOAF or something like that. And it really helped us understand too how we were going to make the second album that we did.
Yeah, totally.
So now you close the album with "I'm Blue." There's a line in there, I live with the things left unsaid. Hauntingly beautiful line. Where did it come from?
Again, man, dude, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, man.
Something was guiding your hand on the paper, like a Ouija board, maybe?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it rhymes. I think that I've been thinking a lot about language in general and how sort of oddly perfect it is that things rhyme the way they do and the word sets and everything. I don't know. I think that song, again, that was one of the first songs we wrote together. We still play that song today live. It's very meaningful to us.
It's usually a closer song live too.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it just point blank, I mean, it sort of means what it says, right? It's
right.
Doesn't everybody kind of live in that in some way?
True. Absolutely. So that's why I'd say it's beautiful and very. You think about I should have said that. Oh man, or then that person's gone and you never had a chance to say that to that person. So you're living like holding on for years onto something that you should have said to somebody.
Yeah.
So you were saying that language, and you talked about earlier about learning Spanish. Did you ever learn Spanish?
I
She's
did.
A pro.
Yeah, I did okay. I mean, if you put me somewhere that speaks Spanish for like 3 weeks, I can get by. It starts to kind of unlock like a rock that just cracks open in your brain or something. I studied Spanish for many, many years. I went to school. Before school, I go with my girlfriend Ileana. From the time I was like, me and her were going to Spanish classes early in the morning for so long. But if you ask me to say something in Spanish right now, I don't even know, man. I don't know where I don't know where it went.
Well, because I was going to ask you if you'd consider singing any of the songs in like Spanish or French or something else.
Someday we would love to do a collab with like Rosalia. I think that would be really rad.
Well, because you guys know like Celine Dion, when she started out, she couldn't speak English, and she was phonetically singing songs in English.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So gave her more of a vibe. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely could write in Spanish easier than I could probably speak it, and I'll tell you what. But yeah, I think we would love to explore a lot of that stuff.
Gujarati.
Yeah, and Gujarati.
An Indian language.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool.
I got some uncles that would want to get a guest experience or a guest. Yeah.
We've talked about that. We have so many songs. We'd love to just like record albums in different ways forever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I lived overseas in China for 16 years.
Oh,
and,
wow. Cool.
I learned a couple of Chinese pop songs, and I learned them phonetically. I mean, I kind of know what some of the words mean, and some friends later on explained to me what they mean. And it's like, no, I just like the melody, and I like the chorus and how it's I'm just letting it fly. You know?
Well, I love music for that because like I could sing a lot of Rosalia's songs, but I couldn't tell you what they say, and you know what I mean. And I could,
they're like just as touching.
Yeah, but they still just break your heart. And like I love Edith Piaf, and so I know all of her songs, and I can sing them in French. But I could not speak in French. I sound like a completely dumb American to try and talk in French. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's something about music that it almost like allows you to go to a place that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like
So
Sigur Rós. And like even like when that album, the Unentitled one, I believe, where it's like in Hopelandic, just like his made up language. And I was like, why is this breaking my heart and the most
Why is
beautiful
it
thing
so
I've ever
perfect?
heard?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
And
Well, God, there was a song. God, I'm going to get this guy's name wrong. Is Raghu Dajit. He's a vocalist and an Indian musician, and he's singing completely in, I want to say it's Hindi, but then the chorus is "No man will ever love you like I do," and it's just hits me in the heart every time I hear it. And get very emotional hearing the song.
Yeah.
So I mean, hybrid something that way.
That's
would
cool.
be really cool.
Yeah,
We're here for that.
yeah.
And now I read you guys had 2 million streams for that album.
Yeah, I think it's more like 3 now.
Now
yeah.
it's 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. How did you guys go about doing that, and how did it happen? Was it organic or just?
Yeah, pretty much. We got our socials out there, and then we just saw, we're like, wow. It started off, we were just like, cool, people are listening in Brazil. And then we're like, wow, people are listening in Berlin. And then suddenly it was just like, had that virality to it. So it was cool to just see it, proliferate throughout the world. Yeah. And just and in the contrast between like, we're just like, let's just stop in Nashville and pour our souls onto this tape canvas and then have that
out in the world. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we've also toured extensively.
True.
And
That helps.
Tours in Europe, pretty much all over the US and stuff. So yeah, been out there as well. So reinforcing that has been cool to be like, each time we go back to city now, we're like, we're seeing people coming out, we're seeing people singing the lyrics and knowing the parts, or nudging their friend to be like, oh, this is about to happen. Yeah. So it's been really cool.
And so you've been touring the United States and Europe. How did you did you go through booking agencies? How did you exactly get a European tour set up?
Yeah, we've been really fortunate to have a really great, team of people helping us, just like as mentors and friends. But really, we've done all this, on our own for the most part.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And now we have a European booking agency on board.
Yeah.
So now we got a tour coming up in February. So it's nice to we built some, a framework for ourselves in Europe. So now, with the European booking agency, it's like we're hitting the ground running, coming back. Yeah.
And where are you planning to go this time?
Oh, it's such a great tour. I couldn't tell you all the cities, but it's like we're gone for 3 weeks, and we've got a really awesome agency, Rolla, and they have been killing it. It's like, it's basically done already. To us, we're like, this is crazy because this is like 5 months away. I don't know. It feels like so long away.
Bro,
It's like 18 years from now.
Yeah.
In music, music.
It'll be
time.
It'll be here before you know
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But but I was looking at your past itinerary, and you guys were in is it Croatia?
We started there, yeah.
And all the way over to France and some other places. And so what was that experience like? What were playing to your music to European audiences? How did that go?
Our first tour was actually in Europe, and I think that's
great.
Yeah, I mean, really, it seems to us like Europeans really like new music. I don't think that Americans. I think Americans also like new music, but I think that they don't often get booked as well or easy or something. When we sent out some emails to folks in Europe, they were really, really supportive and encouraging. And there's a lot more infrastructure for young artists to thrive, and for the society. A lot of these places that everything sort of supports cultural production.
I think at the root they just really dig our vibe.
Well,
like
too.
I think it's been great. It's like America / Europe just really, really resonated, and Brazil.
Okay,
we're coming for you
from the beginning. Yeah, we saw listeners there, and so it was like, all right, like let's see, and it was so fun. It's so fun to play there because it's like, I don't know, it feels like you're sort of entering into a different world or something. Where
and maybe it's like in maybe certain places, like maybe they might not fully understand the lyrics, but they're like it means something, right? The same way, like I hear stuff from other parts of the world, I'm like, this means everything to me. So, but it's been fun to just go from Croatia and then playing France and London and stuff like that. And I think for us, it's like a lot of music we like is from London, and one of our favorite bands is from France and maybe 3 and stuff like that. So we were just, it's one of those, like, we never thought it would be possible.
Right. 4 years ago.
Right. Did you think
sitting in that corridor, listening to the echo, playing guitar together. Now you're sitting in a cafe in Paris. So, how did I?
That's so true. Never thought about that. From stairwell to Paris.
Yeah. Could be a song title.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I do hear a lot of European style, like European New Wave from like I'm a little bit older than you guys, from the 80s and bands like that not necessarily you guys listen to and are influenced by, but I can hear it there. It's made its way into your music.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I was listening to the HLS from the latest release, Facilities, right? Not in facilities, but facilities. Okay. Thank you. And I want to use this word. I love the word I keep thinking is trajectory of your songs, how they kind of start and then just kind of arc into something else. And it's, it starts out here, but then layers, but it still doesn't sound cluttered. That's what I kept getting from it, because you can hear some songs that it's too many elements, too many parts, and it's like you're losing the element of the song. But you guys don't do that. It stays really, really sharp and crisp, and that's to me very important in writing and production. So can you tell me a little bit about HLS? First off, what does HLS stand for?
We'll tell you that one. That's Hard to Love Somebody.
Ooh,
and
okay. This is exclusive.
That's just a lyric.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an exclusive reveal.
All right. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, guys. It's just the acronym for what we would scribble down. Hard to Love Somebody. That's
on the
so
set,
many.
like a set list.
Okay.
We don't tend to be super creative with our titles sometimes, and so and then HL. There's like coding language. There's all this other stuff going on there. So I think we liked that, and we accidentally just did all these names with acronyms that have the letter H in it.
Okay.
We didn't mean to.
Yeah, it just happened, and now here we are. So
but it must mean something.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out after a few more H's. Title, yeah.
Nice. And so that's on Facilities. Again, another title that can evoke several different meanings. And where did you guys record that one? Was that back in Nashville?
That was in Joshua Tree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With our producer, Jordan. Jordan Lawler.
Yeah.
Was it another to tape, or was this more digital?
That's in studio.
Yeah, that was a studio. More, and I guess the fun part was that that's a song that we had exclusively played acoustically.
Yeah.
Just like super bare bones, like very soft, dramatic chords, and Claire doing these lifts. And then, when we got the studio portion of it morphed into what you hear on in facilities with like deep 808s and like intense synths and stuff like that. And I think that was our natural progression post In Arms, really.
Yeah, that you kind of get it's your music is evolving.
Sure.
Which is it was because you can sound you hear a lot of bands that like I love the Beatles, but something doesn't sound anything like Love Me Do or U2. The U2 evolved into a where they are today. So Joshua Tree too. That's a U2 reference. So I mean, but what does the title Facilities mean? Does it have a meaning, or where did it come from?
I mean, again, it's like this is sort of just what we've been going through, and I think, we're going through it now. We're sort of entering into album 3 phase.
Nice.
Like as a project, and we're going to finish recording this month. In the next couple of weeks. That's sort of what we've been working on, and so I think that maybe we'll have a better sense of what all of the second one meant.
Okay.
Once we're deeper.
The third, it will be revealed to us.
Okay.
But I think
went deeper into the third. Yeah.
And you have this monolith figure on the cover. Where did that come from? What is it? What is there symbolism to it?
Yeah, the archway.
Okay.
That comes from a painting that our dear friend Julia Ha made, and she's an excellent painter and
so good.
Yeah, one of our best friends on the planet, and
we saw it, and it was just like
it all clicked. We were like
perfect. I mean, it didn't even and I think when we shared it was like we're in.
Okay,
and so we had been thinking about it forever.
This morning, what do you think about this? And he was like, okay, what are we
doing? Done. And we had
Um,
been sharing ideas and stuff. So
we had gone through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's the fun part that obviously that's why I love working with Claire here, is that it's like we'll like think about stuff, but just like when we know, it's just like
boom, there it is.
On. So it's like somehow Facilities came up and we're like, yes. And it's like the album came up. Yes,
there it is.
Done.
Right.
We're good. That was awesome. Perfect.
Well, yeah, be sure to give us the her social media link and
at Julia Ha.
Okay, and then we'll put it on
HAW.
To connect to her, so you get her name out there more.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
She's a Cambodian celebrity now, so she doesn't need our help.
Okay. All right. So now I want to ask you guys about the song "Always on Time," because also I was looking at your friend of a friend starter pack. And there's a mention of there about being neurotically on time. Now, is that coming from the song "Always on Time," or
we came here today exactly at 1:45?
Oh, nice.
That's the time.
Well, on time and prepared. That's
Yeah, I think we were just trying to make fun of ourselves a little bit. We kind of
musicians. I feel like we're whenever we roll up for a music thing, people are like,
you're
really
on time.
Yeah, we just people are telling us, we're like, why wouldn't we be?
Yeah, we're like,
yes.
That's when you said we should show up. I think we're just like, a lot of people in music, or maybe like in their early 20s, like oftentimes we'll see kids like they're not even allowed to be in the bar. You're like, how did your parents let you come here? And those kids aren't on time. So I think we're sort of the opposite of that.
Just always on time. Yeah, nice. Now but "Always on Time" is a love song, right?
I mean, everything's a love song.
True.
Yeah.
Comes from love, of course. So
Everything's a love song.
How does "Always on Time" tie into a romantic notion?
Well, I think kind of back to what I was saying earlier, with this conversation with my dad, it's like, your whole life, it's like all of these things. I don't exist today in the form that I'm in without all of these different iterations or experiences I've had, and in a way, like, those are always on time, right? Like, you can't be late for your life because
right, it's there.
Right. And I think, that's something that we try and embrace as like as a band, you know, that there's a lot of like compassion and forgiveness in that. And I think, that's really, I mean, that's what music is, just like love and that space as well.
Excellent. Thanks. So now, one of my favorites, and probably my favorite of you guys, your act and friend of a friend, is Heart of Stone.
Oh, sweet.
I like it because I'm more from pop, and it starts out pop, but then it takes off and becomes epic at the end. Now, was that part of doing loops, doing layering? How did you end up from just being kind of straight 4/4 pop song to ending up way out there?
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, we were just like, you know, we similar to other tunes. It's like we'd play the tune, but then it's like we'll extend sections and we'll be like, yes, when we get to the studio, we're gonna like max it out or whatever, figure out where it takes us. So I think on that one, we were just like, hey, let's just, you know, that full, you know, showing up for your life, that most intense kind of epicness. We love that. We have
to stop ourselves from doing that, really. I mean, we're just obsessed with the wall of sound, and if we want it to be less, we'll have to stop ourselves. But I think we have this very unique thing with Jordan where we all just will know, like, that's it, you know, or
yeah. And I think that it's like, we like the, I don't know, larger than life, dramatic cinematicness. So that's kind of where it felt right in that section, just
where this is where it has to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like it would almost feel, if it wasn't there, it wouldn't feel like us in that way. Like having that outro section, it's like, yes, that speaks to us. Like we love it when we did in the studio. We love playing that live, and like you know, we're losing our minds, and so are, you know, our fans and people that come out. It's like
that's how we feel,
right?
That's how that's the thing. It's like that's how we feel.
Describe it,
That's how it goes. It starts and we just take off.
Right.
So, but Claire, I got to ask you, because as a singer, I always have a tough time singing lines that are similar. So if it's like songs that start with like the same couple of words and then repeat. But in Heart of Stone, every line in the first verse starts with no. How do you keep it straight?
That's so funny. I have so much trouble coming into the song in the middle. It's almost like every time we start, like it's not fun for Jason, because I'll be like, well, could we just start from the beginning of the verse? Because I don't know.
We have to get like 3 minutes to get back to that section we're trying to work on.
Where you can turn back around. Yeah, I missed the cutoff. I got to turn back around.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. I have this weird ability to remember stuff like that. I wish, they had taught algebra in a song or something, because I'd be really good at it then,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll remember lyrics from albums I listened to when I was a kid and that I haven't heard in forever. And
Claire has a really good memory.
I don't know why I just remember it. It's really odd. God willing. I mean, Jesus, now I'm going to mess it up the next time.
Didn't we?
Now that I
knock
said
wood,
that,
I don't want to jinx you anyway.
But no, I'm lucky for that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good ability to have, because I definitely don't have it. I find myself always tripping over or repeating the same line if it starts with the same words. Well, now I want to ask you guys about the single "Every Plane," and now it's all in lowercase. Is that done purposefully? Of course. What does that mean?
Well, I think if we had the opportunity, we would have made them all of the lyric or all of the titles like really Gen Z with like all of the emoticons and weird stuff, but nobody can find anything that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think Every Plane was just for us a nice I don't know, like very much electronic-y. And I think that it's like maybe a more subdued track.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's a departure from other things that you guys have done.
Totally. So it's like having that like Every Plane. You know what I'm saying? And then allowing maybe similarly to like, it's like we like to just like, we lean in. It's like a kick, clap that goes throughout the whole thing. It's just like very you know, structured, I guess, but wild and crazy and subdued. So I don't know.
Now I want to ask you guys about your videos. They're very intriguing, very cinematic. In a good way, I'm saying lo-fi. I mean, they look great because they look like old 8mm films. They don't look digital, which makes it look very intriguing and eye-catching. So who does your video work?
Yeah, you know, most of the videos we've made together thus far. We did a live video with a really amazing videographer named Shiva Kafai out in Joshua Tree. And that was really a fun experience for us for sure. But yeah, I think mostly they come in a similar way that we do, that we just make the music, you know, that they're sort of organic pieces of, you know, moments we've had. I think, yeah.
I like being scrappy. It's like, I think that it's like being scrappy, you know what I'm saying? And just like, here's the footage we have found or that we made or was sent to us or whatever. And we're like grafting it and
like kind of just taking what resonates, I think.
Yeah. And what is the moment right now? You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, there's times for like super pristine perfection, that sort of thing. But I don't know if that's representation of like how the organicness of how we even create our music. Right. So it's like, it's an extension of how we create.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, they look amazing. I like them a lot. When I watched through them, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. You know?
We like to edit, and you know, one of them was actually made in Pensacola. That's when we finally got down to Pensacola for the I'm So Happy.
Which one was that?
For I'm So Happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
And that, you know, like it's that was just we were just hanging out on the beach. We found this kind of hidden off the path beach, and I just had this wild dress I just felt like wearing because I was being extra.
Yeah, we're like, let's just shoot it. Why not?
We just started taking scenes. Jason was like, oh my God, you got to walk towards me in the water in that dress. And then we just had a great time and then got back and I was like, man, this is a really great shot. Like, I feel like this would be so good for this. And we just, I think we like to have fun with it. You know, I think we've seen bands that like hate each other or something, or like you hear stories about that, and we're just enjoying our lives. Like we're just trying to have a good time.
I think, in that sense, to like, we like, maybe that's the thing. It's like, and maybe what's resonating is like, we like every aspect that the band journey has to offer. We love recording and that full cycle, that we love making videos, having photo shoots, you know what I'm saying? Like, and taking photos outside of where we're at. You know, we love this right now. This is great. Like, we love every, we love every avenue. And I think that that's the fun part, is that if we just had to do one thing within like like if we just recorded or we just played live, it wouldn't be that interesting to us. We love the world that's involved in it and all of the kind of creative mediums that you get to play with, from video to photography to
well, you guys are excelling in every aspect and every level of it, so it's very cool.
Thank you.
So now you said you're working on a new album, and so what are the writing sessions like for it?
We have the songs picked out.
We picked the baby songs from the nursery of the baby.
From the nursery.
The song nursery.
We might want to add this new one, though, that I think would be really cool. But so the songs are picked out, and we've been working with Jordan through them. So, you know, we have some demos kind of laid out. We've been playing 2 of the songs out live.
Okay. Road testing them. That's good.
Yeah, we've been road testing. That's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Yeah. It's been a really good response. So it feels good. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So now when you're playing live and you're going to do this tour in February, are you going to tour with the drummer or?
We will. Yeah. We've been playing with Jessica Bordeaux. She's really incredible. And
she's the best. We love her.
We love her. We love hanging out with her.
Good vibes. Yeah.
And it doesn't.
And supremely talented.
I say it doesn't mess with the chemistry at all of what.
Well, yeah, that's why she's here.
Okay.
I think
it adds.
We need the good chemistry. Like neither one of us, I don't think, is very interested in just going about being like hating our lives and each other or something. You know, we're trying to like enjoy, and So when we thought about bringing in a drummer, it really was like, it wasn't like, hey, we need a drummer because we're supposed to have one, because you could just do that on a beatbox. Or
right.
So we were like, okay, if we find a drummer we really jive with.
Yeah, that was the catalyst.
And you have, right.
Because we were just so blessed. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like you play a show and people are like, can we drum with you guys or whatever? And it's like we're comfortable, in that capacity of just like, hey, we'll play. But then, Jessica came along and we're like, yeah, she's the best. And let's rock out.
The crazy thing is she's a real friend of a friend.
Yeah, she's a real friend of a friend. That's the crazy part. She's
yeah. Go. No, you sound.
No. She happens to be my neighbor friend growing up, sister-in-law.
Wow.
And so like randomly, and this is like, I didn't know this. And then it's like, I was like, I sent him a message. I was like, dude, is your like, who is this person? Cause I'd see like photos of them or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, who is this? He's like, oh, it's Jessica or whatever. And I was like, hey, and he gave us the intro.
Okay.
So I guess the only requirement is you have to be a friend of a friend to play with us. No randos allowed.
Yeah, right.
And even more crazy, like she actually, she does like sample packs or whatever for Reverb or something like that. I don't know, something. And Jordan had taken one of her drum beats and it's on one of our songs. And so she was
before
already,
you met her,
like she was already, I think he messed with it or whatever, but
she's already in the band.
There.
Right,
yeah, like magically. And
that's very neat.
So it was like really cool. Yeah.
It indeed is a very small world.
It is.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be touring with a drummer. You're going to take her with you to Europe.
Yes.
And that's excellent. I look forward to seeing some of the videos and that. I wish I could attend in person. Where are some of the rooms that you play in Chicago?
We played
the Hideout.
Okay.
Shuba's.
California Clipper.
Yeah, Clipper.
We're gonna play the book club coming up on the 18th.
And some more shows in the works.
Oh, cool.
Weekend.
We've got to. Yeah.
We'll get back to you when we get confirmations, but some cool places.
I'll keep following you and find out where
cool places.
I'll keep stalking you then and find you where you're at. So far, what has been your favorite one?
I don't think we've asked each other. What's your favorite show?
No, we haven't even asked each other that. That's great.
Oh, okay, well,
I think when we went down to do some shows in Austin during South by Southwest, I would say that when we played one of the nights, I thought that was our favorite because it was like a packed house. Okay.
People were moshing to Heart of Stone.
Wow.
Right. It was just like
in the pit.
Right. I think the electricity of like that time period, and it's the first time we'd gone down there, so we didn't know what to expect, and it was really, it was better than I imagined, so it was just like, and so having a crowd that was just like deeply into music and then just like vibing out, and it's like basically crazy packed and stuff, is really, really fun. I'd say my favorite. I don't know. What's your favorite?
Yeah.
It's so tough. I think
there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played a really rad show recently in Indianapolis at the White Rabbit Cabaret with our friends, The Palace, and they're a really rad band out of Indy. And they've been really good to us and just wonderful friends. And
it was like a sold out show.
Yeah, it was really such a blast. And they had a cabaret MC.
Oh, wow.
Announcer. Okay. Like it was just so fabulous how the whole show was set up, and it was great to play with people we have known for so long and that have been so supportive of us in our early stages and stuff.
Yeah, and a bunch of fans out there that were just like, because the proximity of Chicago to Indianapolis is just like a lot of our fans had seen our evolution as well, which was cool, because then I think I also enjoyed that night, and it was kind of like we did some of our old songs, and then we tried like stuff from the new album, and to see new faces light up, and then some of the people that saw us were just like Claire and I on guitar and singing or whatever. It was like come full circle, where it's like we're so happy and grateful that our friends are down for our journey, as we evolve and whatever. That's great.
Excellent. And okay, well, I usually like to end the cast with a couple of fun sort of questions. So who is on your musical Mount Rushmore?
Oh, that's a good one.
How many people are on? Four. Okay.
Four.
Tom and Johnny count as one person. Tom York and Johnny Greenwood, like would they count as one?
Yeah, it could be a split, I guess.
Yeah, I think two-headed.
Because mine is like, okay, well, there's the Beatles Mount Rushmore, and then there's these other four guys.
Right. Yeah, okay. It could be the full band. Right?
It could be the full band.
Right.
Also, it doesn't have to be limited to music.
Okay.
Could be acting, could be
interesting.
TV personalities, could be sports figures, whatever,
Okay.
I mean,
it's got to be a joint
situation. I think
this is
so.
going to be tough.
Johnny Greenwood.
Okay.
Well, no, I think like we could just get Radiohead and then get them all.
Okay.
And just
Johnny
have the
York.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have the one.
So I got three more.
Okay.
Got the one there.
It have to be some like the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Beatles. Okay, that's
sure.
two.
Okay.
Oof. See, then we'd both have to bring like each of our own personal favorites.
Yeah, I think you get one.
Okay,
But
you got one. You
that's
got
gonna be
one.
so impossible.
Who would you pick?
I think I would pick TV on the radio.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Then I would okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I would put the same era, but I think just influential. The equivalent of that would be like Block Party.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
All right.
Nice.
Let's
Similar
shake
era.
on that. Yeah.
I'm gonna shake your hand.
Outstanding. And the last question I have for you guys. Okay, well, go, of course, ladies first. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
6.
Would you rather have only breakfast foods or only dinner foods for the rest of your life?
Breakfast, bro. Breakfast.
Okay, well, why is that?
I love breakfast. First of all.
All day. She's thinking about eggs.
Yeah, I'm made of eggs. Like I eat
right.
eggs raw. I eat them all the ways except for when they're too cooked. That's gross. But otherwise, I love eggs. Like good farm fresh eggs. Oh my God, there's nothing better actually in the world for you. It's so good. It's the perfect food. So, and I just go about like when that's the best part of Europe is they do breakfast buffets.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Like that's the best. Like there's everything of all the breakfast.
The band is actually just so Claire can have eggs in Europe.
Right,
Really,
that's
actually,
it.
that's
But no, to cheer me up,
We just happen to play
it'll be
music.
like, oh, the lounge, like you could have the full buffet of
Right.
breakfast, we got in here. Or like on my birthday, he tried to take me to a breakfast. We didn't get there on the time. That was my fault. But, like we're looking for it. I'm obsessed with breakfast. And
part of
that
the-
was a very easy question for me to answer.
Part of the tour rider for Europe in February is going to be, where are the breakfast buffets? You need to get us to those.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's also the great thing about Europe is like you can just get a decent cup of like orange juice, a great cappuccino, good, nice farm fresh whole milk, and like a croissant, and they're always great, and you don't have to worry about sulfites and stuff. So, yeah, we kind of luck out. Like even the train station is like set in Europe for that stuff.
So, Jason,
We're
over
so
to
from the Midwest. We're like,
yeah.
Well, they just have better food. Is really clear. It's true.
It's better prepared, different sort of rules, different type of FDA.
Yeah, no Monsanto and
true.
stuff. They've got strict regulations keeping things fresh out there.
So, all right, Jason, over you. Pick a number from 1 to 10, but not 6.
2.
2. Would you rather fight a shark or a gorilla?
Ooh. Okay, so I would definitely pick a shark.
Okay, why is
Because
that?
it's like I've like learned the ways of I've read up on how to ward off a shark attack.
How to defend yourself from a
yeah.
shark.
So it's like you got to go for it. You got to like give it a little bip on the snout. Is it a snout on it or whatever?
I guess so, yeah.
The nose area, but it doesn't
Right.
really have you get hit there, and then also it's like you got to like be gouging on the eyes and stuff like that. And I like to surf. I can't pop up. I have a weak upper body, so
Okay.
it's like I'm not very good. But that's a real threat to me, so I'm more ready for it. I'm not in gorilla zone, so not as much as up to speed.
Right.
So I'd like to,
Okay.
go down that path.
Get my silliness out of the way. So, when can we expect the next album?
Hopefully, early 2025.
Okay. Before the
Everybody should
tour.
get a
But don't
single.
quote us. We're
All right,
still
all right.
we're still tinkering.
Yeah.
Or quote us or whatnot. We'll hit it.
Okay.
Sometime soon.
And so what can you tell us what your pluggables and where can we find you online?
Yeah, Friend of a Friend Band on Instagram.
Okay.
Linktree, Friend of a Friend Music. It's got all this stuff, and we're on all the things. And thanks for following us.
Yeah.
Means a lot.
Well, Claire, Jason, thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with me here for today. And it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to where your trajectory will go in the future.
Hey, thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Thank you.
We've been talking to Claire Molek and Jason Savsani of Friend of a Friend. Thanks.